So hello everyone, welcome to UGC NET Management 60 days 60 minutes challenge. Today we will be continuing with our study, and yes, let's see. Today also we are going to practice uh, the unit evaluation and see what questions are asked, if we can answer them, and so on and so forth. Behavioral modeling is a type of training program in which organizations may adapt to train its adopt to train its employees. Modeling. Which one of the following methods of forecasting human resource demand is not a qualitative method? Markov analysis. Which one of the following are included in workplace dialogue? Almost everything. Gender, geographic experience, career, ethnicity, sexual orientation. Was elected as the first General Secretary of the Indian National Trade Union Congress. We remember Khandu Bhaidesha, but we cannot say for sure because we didn't find a reliable source that mentions it. But for now, demonstration type of training method is used for workers for higher level, mostly critical thinking, brainstorming, critical decision making, and such. Which of the following prevent the majority of managers from making effective implementation and sustain? Hollow talks will prevent effective implementation and sustainability. Debilitating fear, I don't know what that means, so we'll see. A तो होना चाहिए, A है. A B D C D E B C B C. So we see almost B हर जगह आता है. Holotalk complex measurement system will not prevent if managers from effective constructive internal. This won't prevent. D E तो definitely नहीं है, E नहीं है. So B and C, Holotalk can prevent, yes. A है, A is probably A B C D, A B D. We didn't check it. Let's study the flow model first now, because हमने ये question अभी पढ़ा. Personal needs. It is related to forecasting, so इधर तो नहीं होगा, एम्प्लॉय वर्क लाइफ में भी नहीं होगा, टैलेंट मैनेजमेंट में हो सकता है. करियर प्लानिंग में तो होगा. Markov analysis flow model. This is under human resource planning में है. Okay. Flow model associated with personal needs. The forecaster will determine the time that should be called. Okay. Time. Establish categories to which employees can be assigned. Junior, senior. Okay. Count annual movement among states for several time periods. So involves tracking historical employee tran transitions between states over multiple time periods. The flow model will estimate the probability of transition. So this, so A, B, C, E. What is a flow model? A Markov chain we had studied. Veritasium Markov. The strain match that predicts almost everything. That's we won't go into that for now, but yes. Markov analysis is a mathematical model that represents a state as a series of states and uses probabilities to predict the likelihood of transitioning from one state over the other. The core principle is the Markov property, which states that the future state of the system depends only on its current state and not on the sequence of events that preceded it. Yeah, this is useful in life also if you think about it. If you start believing your future state is dependent only on your current state and not what happened before. So that's the Markov analysis. That's how we'll remember Markov analysis and flow. And what this is generally is checking over what time will, let's say, a person or an employee flow through different stages: promotion, transfer, exit. So it will take the time frame, yes. Categories through which it will flow, yes. Annual movement among states for several time periods, yes. Yes, it makes much more sense now that we get the whole picture. So the point is, can we better write this? Let's see. This is much better representation if we see. और हमें अभी we have better understood what the flow model says, है ना? Markov analysis, what does flow model say? It says based on current event, Markov chain analysis का मतलब है based on current state you can predict the future state. It doesn't depend on your past. Your future depends only on your present. This is what Markov chain of events says. And the second thing, what it means is, for us, it is used to track the future of the employee based on current state, whether currently he is in recruitment, probation, or what state, and we track that state. And what are the steps that is followed in tracking that state? We can check here. It is determine the time period to cover, the time frame, establish employee categories, estimate transition probabilities, and count. Drawing this diagram, okay? First we cover the time period, then establish the categories, then the transition probabilities, and then count the annual movement between states and track them. So this is एक हमने question कर लिया. Coming to this, behavior modeling is a type of training program. Behavior modeling is a type of training program which the organization may adopt to train its employees. Let's see which is not included in behavior modeling. So यहाँ पे क्वेश्चन देखें तो मेन क्वेश्चन बिहेवियर मॉडलिंग पे है और क्वेश्चन बिहेवियरिंग मॉडलिंग पे ही पूछा गया. ये सिर्फ इन विच द ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस में अडॉप्ट टू ट्रेन इट्स एम्प्लॉयज, ये जस्ट एंड में डाल दिया गया है. दैट्स व्हाट माय अंडरस्टैंडिंग इट्स. लेट्स चेक द सिलेबस. ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल बिहेवियर, सी पूरा ग्रुप बिहेवियर, टीम लीडिंग, ग्रुप डायनामिक, सब कुछ क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 में आता है. This will put it as cross-culture, workforce diversity and cross-culture organizational behavior. है ना? So it is clearly a question of unit 2. Social reinforcement we will search with. Let's see, now we will try it again. So now let's just take a 5 minutes break. We'll start when we get back. So hello everyone, let's get back to studying. In the first half, we studied about Markov analysis. Let's see what we study next. The critical incident method हमने पढ़ा है of performance appraisal. It becomes difficult to rank employees because everyone is saying like critical incident that happened with them where they showed value to the firm. So in such cases, it will become difficult for us to say this person is better than that person is better and so on and so on. Okay, so difficult to rate or rank employees. Which one of the following is not an extramural? Extramural matlab first is the most basics, then comes welfare or social wala functions. Job security is, let's say, primary. Housing facility primary. Extension of medical care during the provision of education is secondary. I believe so. Intramural main core functions. Housing sub core functions हो गई maybe. Job security is not an oh sorry, it is not an extramural. My mistake. Constituents of trade unions क्या होते हैं? तीन होते हैं, हमने पढ़ा है. Members, employees और government members और government employees और members trade union. ABD ABD है नहीं. ओ सॉरी, हमने पढ़ा था गवर्नमेंट होती है, एम्प्लॉयज होते हैं और एम्प्लॉयज होते हैं. तो BD का कुछ ऑप्शन है क्या? ऐसा कुछ है नहीं. uh, we will go with members trade union के members जो एम्प्लॉयज है और एम्प्लॉयर्स ट्रेड यूनिट्स. ये दो तो होने ही चाहिए अगर गवर्नमेंट नहीं भी है तो. So these two. The system of collective bargaining as a method of settlement or has been adopted and provided under Industrial Dispute Act 1947. Hopefully हमने इसके अंडर ही पढ़ा था. Yes. फॉर्म्स ऑफ स्ट्राइक ये हमने पढ़ा है. सिंपैथी स्ट्राइक, कोई दूसरे लोग स्ट्राइक करे हम और उनका साथ दे रहे. A strike that results नहीं, a strike that takes place when one union strikes in support of another. D का 3 है. D का 3 there is only one option, so we'll go with that. The procedure through which one determines the duties of a company's position and characteristics of people to hire. जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन तो वो देते हैं कि ये काम आना चाहिए. ये होगा जॉब प्रोसीजर मे बी. इन तीनों में से एक. एवेल्युएशन तो मुश्किल है. स्पेसिफिकेशन और स्पेसिफिकेशन. एनालिसिस, जॉब एनालिसिस. विल ट्राई अगेन. When the responsibility, scope and challenges at work is deliberately upgraded, it is called job assignment होगा. रोटेशन तो चेंज होता है टाइम. एनरिचमेंट तो नहीं होगा. कम ऑन, इसे एनरिचमेंट बोलते हैं. Award under the Industrial Dispute Act 1947 is. Award means final decision by the court or a final saying. Final determination of labor court, not the final data. अभी सी मुझे सपोज आंसर नहीं पता है. सी या डी में से एक है. फाइनल डिटर्मिनेशन ऑफ लेबर कोड, नॉट द फाइनल डिटर्मिनेशन ऑफ लेबर कोड. बोथ आर कवर्ड बट एक साथ नहीं है, जो एक साथ नहीं दिया. सो आई कैन नॉट मेक यूज ऑफ दिस. ओके. interim determination of labor. A और B not an arbitration false है. B तो false है. A and C because it is an arbitration award. The balance scorecard developed by Kaplan and Norton contains 4 dimensions. Which one of the following is one of the dimensions? This weekend ये wrong होने के chances है. We will copy it here. We will say balance को competitor analysis नहीं होता होगा, human resource होता होगा. production management, customer service. Now we will study this. The balance scorecard developed by Kaplan and Norton. So we'll study balance scorecard. Developed by Robert and Kaplan, a strategic performance management tool used to monitor and improve an organization across four key dimensions: finance, customer. How do the balance scorecard developed by Robert and Kaplan and David Norton is a strategic performance management tool used to monitor and improve an organization's performance across four key dimensions. Finance perspective: how do we look to shareholders? How do we look to customers? What must we excel at? What can we continue to improve and create value? Financial perspective, customer perspective, internal business process perspective, and learning and growth perspective. Which one of the following is not an internal force for organizational change? चेंज इन लीडरशिप है एक इंटरनल फोर्स, मैनेजर बिहेवियर है, वर्कफोर्स डाइवर्सिटी है या तो ये है चेंज इन एम्प्लॉय एंड कस्टमर एक्सपेक्टेशन एज एन इंटरनल फोर्स. मे बी दिस बिकॉज एम्प्लॉय की वजह से कस्टमर एक्सपेक्टेशन की वजह से बोल नहीं सकते शायद, या तो वर्कफोर्स डाइवर्सिटी को अगर इंटरनल फोर्स मानेंगे मान सकते हैं. हाँ, वर्कफोर्स डाइवर्सिटी सब कुछ चेंज इन like different genders, different years of experience, different domains. It was never mistake. Arrange the following steps in recruitment and selection process. Candidates become employees, ये last होगा, E end की तरफ आएगा. So E के बाद क्या है इधर? E के बाद F है. Interviewing candidates to make final choice. Wrong. ये wrong है. और वो F just D क्या है? Applicants completing applications forms. नहीं, D क्या है? Using selection tool. दिस वन इफ यू सी, लास्ट हमेशा कैंडिडेट बिकम एम्प्लॉयज होगा और उसके पहले वाला अगर हम देंगे तो एफ या सी, जस्ट बिफोर कैंडिडेट बिकम्स एम्प्लॉयज वो बिल्डिंग अ पूल ऑफ कैंडिडेट्स होगा. फॉल्स, ये बहुत पहले हम करेंगे सिलेक्शन में. इंटरव्यूइंग कैंडिडेट्स टू मेक फाइनल चॉइस, जस्ट इसके पहले होगा, विच मेक सेंस. सो ये ई होगा फॉलोड बाय एफ. दिस वन. Which among the following has developed the institutional theory of work-life derivative or work-life initiative? ये नाम सुना हुआ था. Diego and a workman hired in place of permanent workman or probationer who is temporarily absent. It's called a workman hired in case of a permanent workman. Temporary workman, probation, बदली वर्क, कैजुअल देखते हैं. बदली बदली वर्कमैन. जॉब्स एंड ड्यूटीज ये हम गलत कर सकते. दैट्स व्हाई वी विल कॉपी इट. ये करेक्ट था. जॉब एनालिसिस में job evaluation, I believe. Job analysis. Let's study what job analysis is. Job description, a written statement that outlines your duties and condition. ये हमें पता है. Job rotation, the systematic movement of employee from one job to another to increase variety and reduce monotonicity. ये भी पता है. Job assignment refers to allocation of tasks or roles to an employee but doesn't apply. Okay. Job evaluation means this is used to determine the relative worth of a job for compensation. पैसे देने के लिए काम की कितनी वैल्यू है, वो करते हैं जॉब इवैल्यूएशन। वर्कफोर्स एनालिसिस assess current and future human resource needs, focusing more on supply and demand of labor market than job content. Workload analysis, it focuses on the amount of work and the number of people required to handle that work, not specifically on job duties or required competencies. Job analysis is the procedure for determining the duties and skill requirement of a job and the kind of person who should be, दोनों चीज कि क्या skills और duties होनी होनी चाहिए, determining the duties and skill requirement of a job and the kind of person who should be hired for it. In job analysis, broadening of job design refers to techniques such as job enlargement and job enrichment, which involve adding more tasks or giving employees more control over how they perform their work. These approaches are meant to work more meaningfully and reduce monotony. Job enrichment होता है to deliberate upgrading the responsibility, scope and challenge in an employee's work. Vertical expansion, okay. जॉब एनालिसिस में हम जॉब जो ड्यूटीज और स्किल चाहती है जॉब करने को वो भी इवैल्यूएट करते हैं, द काइंड ऑफ पर्सन हु शुड बी हायर्ड टू डू इट, दोनों चीज़ इवैल्यूएट करते हैं। ओके, हु अमंग द फॉलोइंग हैज डेवलप्ड द इंस्टीट्यूशनल थियरी ऑफ वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस? डिएगो एंड पॉल। वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस, डिमैगियो एंड पावेल, ये तो हमने पढ़ा था। सिंपैथी स्ट्राइक, डी का 3 है। इनवर्स ऑर्डर ऑफ द एनवायरनमेंट, सबसे हाईएस्ट पहले कौन आएगा? कंसल्टेंट के कॉर्पोरेट मैनेजमेंट की चीफ इम्प्लीमेंटर, सबसे लास्ट में 2 या 4 रहेगा, टास्क फोर्स या इम्प्लीमेंटेशन टीम। लेट्स थिंक अबाउट इट। अगर पहले हम करेक्ट ऑर्डर में करते हैं इन टर्म्स और इन द करेक्ट ऑर्डर ऑफ द इन्वॉल्वमेंट इन द प्रोसेस, तो सबसे पहले कौन आएगा देखते हैं। चीफ इम्प्लीमेंटर होगा, टास्क फोर्स होगा, कॉर्पोरेट मैनेजमेंट होगा। लेट्स से यहाँ पे कॉर्पोरेट मैनेजमेंट होगा, कॉर्पोरेट मैनेजमेंट के बाद आएगा कंसल्टेंट। मेरे हिसाब से कंसल्टेंट उनको कॉर्पोरेट मैनेजमेंट को बताएगा ये करो वो करो, फिर उसके बाद आएगा चीफ इम्प्लीमेंटे जो कहेगा इम्प्लीमेंटेशन टीम को, जो कहेगा टास्क फोर्स को। सो दिस मेक सेंस। टैलेंट मैनेजमेंट प्रोसेस इंक्लूड्स टैलेंट मैनेजमेंट प्रोसेस, एम्प्लॉय सेपरेशन नहीं होता है इसमें। ऑन बोर्डिंग प्लानिंग होगा, सिलेक्शन होगा, डेवलपमेंट होगा, एम्प्लॉय कंपनसेशन होगा। सेपरेशन का नहीं पड़ा होता है टैलेंट मैनेजमेंट, क्योंकि तुम मैनेज नहीं कर ले हो टैलेंट। 1 2 3 4। So this, which of the following are benefits of the organization of career management? This we'll study. So ये भी हमने पढ़ लिया, स्टडी कर लिया, which we thought. Let's see. Hmm. So we'll take a 5 minutes break. You can check out how to do the unit. I'll come back. So that will be all for today. See you all tomorrow morning again in the UGC NET Management 60 days 60-minute challenge.